This week on the Crossing Cultures podcast.
We read in Luke chapter 19 about a man from Bethlehem riding in on a donkey and being declared king of the world. But before this man from Bethlehem rode in on a donkey, hundreds of years earlier, a woman from Bethlehem was riding on a donkey, a Jew, part of God's favored people, who had been taken as a concubine by a religious leader within that Jewish faith. And she runs away. And the story is, you could read Judges 19, 20, 21. It's a long story. It is not PG, and I'll read some of that in just a moment. In fact, I'll say it. It's the worst story in the whole Bible. And it parallels to our event today of Palm Sunday. This woman runs away and she goes to her father's house, and then this Levite 4 months later comes to get her. 4 months later he comes to get her. And the father-in-law says, hey, you're a great guy, stick around, let's hang out, eat, drink, let's stick around. And that happens over and over and over. It happens several times where this father-in-law convinces the Levite to stay and to keep his daughter, who's the concubine to this Levite, that they would stay there in Bethlehem. But eventually they leave and they're heading back to the mountains of Ephraim, and they would travel near Jerusalem but continue on, and they would go to the city called Gibeah. And they would go to Gibeah, and they would be out in the public square. Every city would be, imagine like people would live around a city center. And this band that was heading back to the mountains of Ephraim, which is in the north, they were traveling from the south, from Bethlehem. And they're headed, and they get to Gibeah, and they're there, and it's getting dark. And an old man, I'm jumping ahead to tell the story quickly, an older man comes out from his house, and he goes to the city square, and he says to this man, the Levite, who are you and where are you going? I'm a Levite from Ephraim. I've come from Bethlehem, and we're headed home. And he says, you must come and stay with me in my home for the night, because it's not safe for you to be out here in the city square. And exactly true to form, sun goes down, they come banging on the door. It's a very similar story to what happens in Genesis when we read about the men of Sodom. The men come banging on the door. These are the Jews in the city of Gibeah, and they come banging on this door, and they say, give us that man that we can take advantage of him. Turn him over to us. And the old man who was the host to this little band of people, he says, no, please don't let that thing happen. Don't do this. I have a daughter and he has a concubine. You can have them. That's humanity right there. That's humanity. I love when we decide that something is unjust. Oh, don't take advantage of this guy. Here's these girls. But the injustice was what they died, and that it was wrong for this man to have to deal with that. You see, that's the story of human history. It's only unjust when I feel it personally. It doesn't matter to me what happens to a whole bunch of other people that I don't know. It's collateral. It's not my story. This man didn't care one bit until it had affected his well-being. That's the tragedy. And friends, why would I read a story like, you're like, that's the most bummer Palm Sunday of all Palm Sundays? Because I want you to see into this, the depth that God has gone to make sure that you and I could be born again. We're not good people. We never have been. Jesus didn't come to save the good people. Because in his own family, the Levites, the people that God chose to represent him to all nations, they were miserable human beings who had no problem raping and killing women at their own pleasure. That's the story. That's the story of human history.
Hi, my name is Kia, and I'd love to invite you and your family to come celebrate Easter with us here in person at Calvary San Diego. For For more information, go to www.calvarysd.com/Easter. We can't wait to see you. I can rap. For more information, go to www. I'm playing. Okay, stop recording me.